Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with another one. Back. I didn't realize I had a live. Woo! This is the Dump Hump Part 3. The daily, it's the Daily Hump Dump 3. Excuse me. Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. New month, May 1st. Yes, 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 sir. Yes, 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 y'all. Da, 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 da. And we talked about the finesse era, aka the soft guy era, the so-called soft guy era. It's pretty simple that people get caught up and hold on for a minute because I don't want to know. I want to see something real quick. Go down for a minute. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, you get on my nerves, girl. Might have to do. I know what I can get for my birthday too, and that's just what it is. And then that's just bottom line. I'm just gonna go leave this for now. Put it over here for a minute. But yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. I just gotta get something straightened out. And this is not entertainment. I'm not an entertainment channel. I don't give a damn about that. I had my days doing that on my old previous channel. I got knocked off for political reasons with a certain group, but that's okay. And we're still here. And I don't care about cancel. It don't exist. Just don't play their game. Don't get monetized to this shit. It's over. You got to learn to maneuver around. It's called being evasive and things, you know what I'm saying? But this culture is dying, bro. Like I tell you, the finesse culture is dying. Yes, it's utilitarian concepts. It's always going to be utilitarian because liberals are commonly what you call classist people, or most would say they've always have been them and conservatives. Conservatives to me, everybody's trying to say they lean towards the right and all that. Both of them lean towards the right. They don't care about neither one of it. It's a con game. It's always been, and they practice utilitarian concepts. They believe in theories. That's why a lot of liberals pretend to say happiness is the greatest number, blah, 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 blah. I said this 3 years ago, and they're pushing it. That's why a lot of stuff is backwards. That's why you got a lot of people are confused what's going on. And let me stop this for Buru and all that because I got a lot in the background. But yeah, I did a clip y'all saw earlier with the what you call it. I did a clip, but I got the music on down, so I got to see what's going on here. Um, Shouts out to y'all for checking that out this morning, but whoever didn't get to see whatever, whatever. And yeah, it is a nice sunny day. I've been outside. I mean, it's beautiful on May 1st, but tomorrow will be a special day. Y'all ain't gonna see me around. Y'all see me in the comments, whatever. So it is what it is. So the review is decent. Appreciate y'all. If y'all there watching the clouds, whatever, it's gonna get some views later. But the thoughts of Hannibal last week, 7 days ago, was pretty good. Some people liked it, and that's what it was. Appreciate them. Appreciate them. And then we talk about the Trushkins is review one. Review two is going to be the same thing. It's a part two. We're going to go and then we'll have a review three of the same thing. So basically, I'm just getting into my historical bag for the Wednesday mornings, like all the stuff. So the finesse era, yes, it did some numbers. Soft male era, that's what AKA, that's what it is, or the soft guy era, they would call it. The finesse era. I call it the finesse era because y'all been finesse for a long time during this pandemic and things like that. So pretty much it's out the window. I'm not saying not to support. I'm saying this is pretty much common in the world. A lot of people just don't understand the finesse world has always been here. It's always been a concept or a weird way. And I gotta see the chat. I see a blue check. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, what's going on? Salute, salute, man. Salute, salute, salute. I'm just gonna, yeah, yeah, I see it. But the finesse era, we're gonna talk about it in whole lightly in person. I know this is like on notice, but there will be a part for this the every other Wednesday. This is every other Wednesday stream. Like I talk about current events, I talk about my recent stuff that I upload, and then I talk about the stuff that's really going on, why it exists, and why that I did a stream called the finesse era. Well, the finesse era is just one stream I talked about. Thank goodness I talked about it. I'll talk about another vlog stream. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna promise y'all. It could be any day now. Now I don't know if it's gonna be on my special day that I have to celebrate whatever. And they said, "What's a special day?" It's somebody's, you know, grade or whatever. But that day I'm gonna have some time to myself, so I ain't gonna be much available Thursday. But Friday, maybe, I don't know, just a little bit. But I get to my music stuff. Them 2 days I'm just gonna be chilling. The seventh day, they call Saturday or whatever. But I don't know about that. We'll see. I might do one next week, just to talk to you. I'm probably Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. I'll do it next week, and we'll talk about this again, like the finesse era. But the finesse era is what you always had. You had it in other platforms and things like that. And dude's been on this stuff for years. Oh, just hit the bell, man. Just hit the bell. You don't have to, you just gotta hit the bell. Make sure you're subscribed or whatever. Some people ain't getting them and all that, but you gotta hit the bell. A lot of times, if you subscribe to too many people, you may have problems with that. Depends on who you're subscribed to. I'm not hating or anything. I'm just saying, just be careful on YouTube, because if you subscribe so many pages, it can happen like that. So yeah, this it's pretty much a done deal, bro. Like you're going to understand that that's the stuff that you're going to. That's how I'm going to look at it. But then again, you see this a lot. And then that's how it is. Yeah, that's how if you ain't get no notification, that happens all the time on YouTube. A lot of people don't tell you that, because I went to the same thing with some content creators or people that do YouTube videos, and the people that we like always hit their bell. If I like them the most, and the ones I don't like, I don't care. I just look at my subscription list. I use my phone 95% of the time to watch YouTube, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of content I subscribe that I like. And the ones I don't like, I just don't care. I just random. I say it one day, pick a day to do it, put it in my watch laters, and that's how I do it on this particular site. Now, if I'm doing content, I'm just speaking content wise, see what's going on around the world. I use other platforms as well. Yeah, I use Telegram and Twitter and Instagram for other things. I don't use Telegram, what you should do, but I've used it with shots of APT for that. That's a gold mine. I should have had that years ago, but I might have to upgrade some things on that. We'll see. I'm deciding that or Twitter. Well, excuse me, X. X is dope. But Elon Musk, he's giving you good prices. 2022 for the $22.99 for the high premium. And then he said the subpar, the $11.99. I like that. It's reasonable. A lot of people don't like those prices, but actually I kind of like it, because he's giving you options, talking about premium to be verified with Blue Check if you do business. That's not a bad deal. If you got a lot of money, it's worth it. If he said that's required, I'm paying for that. Hell yeah, I'll definitely pay for that. If you're doing content, yeah, X is straight. If you're verified, you're a verified user. I'm verified. I'm the average user. I ain't no content creator, but yeah, I post stuff. But if I want to be verified, hell yeah, I pay for it. If I have enough funds eventually in the future, I would definitely do it. If he still keeps this platform, if he still keeps the platform like it is, I'm definitely gonna keep that. But Telegram, I might have to upgrade. I might have to do the premium. I might. I'm just gonna teach. Telegram is where it's at. To be honest with you, I like it because you do other things. I mean, I use it for entertainment, just like X and Instagram. I don't use it for no content, nothing. But I do get some news on there. I balance it out with news and other stuff. Shout out to APTV and his little small group. Whatever. I'm saluting him about that. That's a good platform. There's other platforms. A lot of people like Reddit. Reddit's not my thing. Uh, Reddit is just it's similar to Discord. I don't like neither one of them. I tried both of them, and both of them are just trash. I tried to sign up for Reddit, and Reddit ain't for me, man. It's just not for me. And I thought about it. I mean, Reddit's good. My dad said he got it. They use it for other stuff, games and stuff. Yeah, but Reddit and the people that own Reddit, they own Discord. I don't like neither one of them because they got the same icon. The people that own them too, you already know that ain't the place you want to go, but it is actually pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of stuff that you can just see and what now and whatever. But then again, that's the content that people push. But I got a lot of content I could post on here and all this other stuff. It just goes to show you that I see a lot of things. But when you get on these platforms like YouTube and you understand that Rumble's a good place to go to get certain things. You don't have to watch news. There's other content out there. You can watch field games and you name it, bro. Man, the platforms is just incredible. But yeah, I'm over here live streaming. Yeah, Jaguar Wright's on, but I can't watch it and do the stream at the same time. I'm not doing that. That's not my thing. That will never be my thing to do because she's talking about Nature Boy right now because I think that's a hot topic about him and all this other stuff. Internet price. I don't care about the internet price. I would love to, but like I got T-Mobile. They try to give me. If I have home internet, it'd be a thing. A lot of people like YouTube Premium. I'm not doing YouTube Premium. Definitely not doing that. YouTube Premium is not. Yeah, you don't have to deal with no ads. That's the thing. But I don't care for the ads. To be honest, I skip them and all the time. I just don't watch the video. I hate ads and all that. It don't mind me. I ain't paying for that shit. It's not worth that. But if I had a lot of money, I don't mind paying for YouTube. I will. But this platform doesn't piss me off to the point. I'm a content creator. I ain't got time to watch people with a lot of ads. And some of them don't have ads at all. And that's hurting their business. They need to do that with big channels. They need to put that on YouTube TV, not on YouTube, to be honest with you. Let people use ad blocker, but ad blocker is they said it's illegal on this site, but that's okay. It's not about, I don't care for neither one, but YouTube Premium is not it. It's a good if you're doing something incredible, if you're doing music or if you're doing anything, YouTube Premium, if you got a whole lot of money, it's worth it. If you have less money, I wouldn't get it. It's not worth that. It's worth more if they add different features. I'm just saying. They got their own built-in ad blocker. So that's the thing about me. When you're talking about YouTube and talking about its high science and high probability, you're talking about things that matter in time and dents and whatever. So May is going to be an interesting month. May is going to be a interesting month overall because the month of May is kind of warm this year because remember we didn't get a whole lot of winter in Georgia like that. It was cool months and all that, and the Grand Hog didn't show his shadow, whatever. A lot of people said he didn't show. They said we'll have an early spring. Yeah, spring's gonna be early. It's warm. It's gonna be warm tomorrow, around 87 degrees down here in GA. Probably warm everywhere else. It's gonna be nice all through the East Coast. It's gonna be like that the whole month if they ain't careful. Because a lot of times people don't understand. Summer is right around the corner, but June is not technically summer. The only way June can be summer is when the 21st of June. A lot of people think it's early June. Early June is technically spring. If y'all don't really understand, because see, Father's Day is on the 16th this year. It's on the third Sunday. Then you got Flag Day on the 14th and whatever. Now, Juneteenth is on a Wednesday, by the way. That's a holiday. Juneteenth is on the 19th, right? That's on a holiday. So it's kind of interesting how the trash day will be. So July 4th is summer. Summer will last till early September. Fall won't start until the 21st of this year. 2024 is going to be wild. This is going to be a wild year. There is early voting. I got my early voting card. You know, Lop said they still have an election. That's because, you know, you got two acolytes going at each other and trying to determine who's bad and who's what. It's always going to be the same way because they're stuck in that so-called war over there. So I understand why people do not like the fact that live streaming is on the uptick. But if you notice, a lot of people just going to be on here just talking about the same old nonsense. And, you know, the soft guy, or should I say the soft male era, aka the finesse era, have always existed. And you see in these so-called manosphere spaces, like if you saw it in 2020 in its purest form during the 2.0 space, the manosphere 2.0, and the most of y'all don't know there's 5 figureheads that run it. It's the Grandmaster, y'all know, is infamous, known as BGS from another group from MGTOW. Bunch of sissies, you ask me. I don't care for them like that. I don't care who does not like my comment about that. I said what I said. I'm sorry, I said what I said because I'm going by. Shouts out to Black Pride for saying that because one time they was all on some weird shit. I said, oh, they been miss me with that philosophy shit. Miss me with that. Because at the time in 2012, when I first heard of y'all wasn't really, no, y'all leaned towards the other way. Okay. We know what that meant. Y'all think it meant something else. No, it meant, we know what it meant. We know what y'all meant. And when the white boys adopted it, the alphabet of that group joined y'all. See, y'all don't see what I see. I saw this shit 12 years ago. See, y'all ain't been around on YouTube that long. I've been on YouTube for 17 years. Okay. I've been on YouTube for 17 damn years. We talking about 2007 now. And I lost the channel 12 years ago, the old channel. I had this channel for 12 years, but the other channel I lost 12 years ago. That was going on. It was around 2007 when I had it, lost it in 2012, like almost 5.5 years. So I've always had that channel. I lost it, I told you, for political reasons. And that's what happened. But then this channel came about and I chose this lane for a long time. For 12 years, I've been saying this stuff a long time. I'm not the first guy to set it. Everybody done said it around the year of 07. I'll say probably since the 90s to the early 2000s to the late 2000s, everybody was on this type of tick. I was on this uptick for years hidden. Decided to pop out in 2011. Next thing you know, I flourished the next year, lost the channel, but it came back around April when this channel was built. Next thing you know, I decided to put some content on it. Real content. It was my own and got different sources and shit. I was a researcher, so that I knew what best to be on this platform. The reason I'm on this platform is because you need guys like me to tell you the truth, and we cut through the fluff and the nonsense and do research. I don't debate idiots on here. I destroy them. I do it all the time because debating is a waste of time. Last time, if you want to debate somebody, bring your whole information, kind of like they did back in 07 and back in the day in the concert. But them niggas is retarded. I'm just gonna tell you that. Fuck every last one. I'll debate any race. They're still moronic and they can't read worth a damn. But I got facts to prove what I'm saying. I could debate you any way I want, but I'm not gonna scream and yell at you. No, I bring facts, I bring resources, I bring other books. I read books. I don't read them all the time. You don't need because everything's on the app now. These app babies. Me and my father discussed this in the car once and just today. And I told him my generation did not have a lot of apps. If you're born from 85 to 94 generation, that's generation Y to me. That's what y'all call ignorant call millennials. Millennials to me, what y'all call millennials is generation Y. If you're from 85 to 94, that's our generation. I don't claim 84 and up. You know why? I call them, you could say they're millennials, but they're millennial Gen Xers. Millennial Gen Xers will be like 1980 to 84, like Rex 84. That's millennial Gen Xers to me. Because I go by a round off number. Who's close in age? I don't go by the fake shit they go online and say it's 81. No, that's a lie. That's not true. You're part of that generation. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with people that was born in 85 and people that was born in the early 90s or early to mid like would be 94. That's it. That's my age group. That's it. Anything after 94, it's a mess. A lot of people try to say it's 95. No, it's 94. 95 is where these kids, if you was born in 95 all down, that's when the world started changing. You start seeing technology being standard. We didn't grow up with that. It didn't become great until the early 2000s, and then the smartphone era started in 2012, 12 years ago. A lot of people try to say it started, wait, no, it started 12 years ago. The apps were a thing in 2012, and then it went, the rest is history. Everybody's raised by, you got to go back to 2012. Prior to 2012, nobody was on that as kids. No. If you was a kid around my sister's age and her generation, they wasn't on that much. They had technology, but they didn't have a whole lot. I had a lot of technology at early age, learning about computers, video games, basic technology, but it wasn't real technology. It's not like advanced technology you see today, because most technology back then was minuscule. It's not what you see is today. It's fast. These kids got all types of internet, all types of Wi-Fi. They grew up in the Wi-Fi and the actual generation that deals with apps all day. I didn't grow up like that. I had books, library in the books, and computer came second. That was it. And if you came in the era of my generation, we went outside. Yeah, we went outside. I did everything. I did sports. I did everything. It's nothing impressive about it. Everybody fucking did it. It's just when it became like a televisionized technology, what you would see today, everybody's not going outside as much because everything is online. Blame it on 2012 and the apps. That's what you do. Don't blame our generation. Blame the kids that was born around 95 and on down. They made it possible. We kind of guide them to it. But it's not our fault. We didn't grow up in this generation. You can't blame our generation because we're better than the older generation because they so fucking lame and didn't do shit for niggas. And niggas is so bitch made they can't even build their own team. It's not about economics. It's about having your team prepared. They're giving us all the resources. Everything's collapsing, and we don't know what to do with it. The other groups ain't doing a damn thing. Y'all think they doing something? No, they getting destroyed left and right with this shit over there in the war. It's killing everybody. Us over here acting stupid and loving idolatry all day, that's what's killing us. It's not the money. We got the money. We just hate ourselves. Niggas like they got these weak movements ain't gonna do shit. And they still ain't gonna do shit next year. Y'all just need to be eliminated. That's just the fact. And y'all dying y'all going out the way y'all going out. Like we hearing reports about suicides and all this other stuff, you know. Recipes to those that couldn't make it. And may y'all bless them. If they was righteous, that's cool. But if not, they'll get executed again in the kingdom or whatever. You know how it is. But you can't just go around and think there's no way that we're changing. We're changing in a society that is a certain group of us saying no to this. And I'm one of them. And we're part of that elite class to move forward. Everybody else is not on that uptick. You know what I'm saying? They're not really out here doing the damn thing. They're just out here complaining about other shit that don't really matter. That's just the bottom line. Y'all just not really about that life. Y'all just over here talking a whole bunch of mess and ain't doing nothing. And y'all complain about female content all day. That's what I get from YouTube. That's what I get from other platforms. That's what I get from X. You got old girl that she calls herself Strictly Clapping, which is a funny name. But you know what? Let me shout her out. Shouts out to her. She admitted that she had a BBL, and she said she's proud of it. She's proud of it. Most people didn't think her butt's real. Her ass is real. Guess what? She said it was fake the whole time, and how she got the BBL. And boy, oh boy, that's a whole nother story on that. I ain't gonna get into it, but she said what she said, and she told them dudes on X said she said y'all lying. She showed us natural, but she should never show it on X because you got a lot of weirdos that come from YouTube. She ought to know that. And it's kind of sad that it's what's going on. But she said that. But I'm glad she mentioned the BBL aspect. And that's the thing she said, and she admitted she's out of all the females that y'all complain about, she's the honest one that says she had it. But she has a YouTube channel. Y'all can go follow it. I know it's called It's Winter, but she broke it down on one of her few videos, and then she's got a X account, what you call Twitter, or where she calls it Twitter, and she's got Instagram. But she's an interesting woman though, so-called woman, or really, or female, whatever. But she's honest. It is what it is. I think it was going chaos. It just goes to show you that a lot of people like her and others deal with y'all on a daily basis on other platforms. Now, what she is telling me, X is the worst platform. It is now. To me, it's not a worst platform, but it is when you have incels. Yeah, it is one of the worst platforms for communication purposes. I'm talking about like social stuff. Like a lot of people do the same dumb stuff every day. But you gotta understand it's the company you keep and the stuff that you present on these websites. See, X is mediocre. You know what's the worst platform? It's really TikTok. TikTok is one of the worst. You know what's hurting it? These guys that come from the Manosphere from 2.0 from years ago. And I told y'all this about the MGTOW thing going to um well, actually 3 years ago. They was doing it. You can't do that shit now. They already know who you are over there. They're monitoring you. So the government is trying to shut y'all up, which is not a bad thing because half y'all stuff is reasonable. They understand the problem. It's just they're trying to tell you go to therapy. That's what they tell you. They ain't changing no laws. No, it's money in that. The more females you have problems with, they make money off of you. But you gotta understand, a lot of these so-called women, like we call them females over here, they get BBLs for attention. And then she didn't like the fact that people don't like her saying that. It is what it is. And I understand people don't like the fact that they're like that. I understand. But everybody's not on the same page. But all these other programs, all these other platforms, like you can just be yourself and who you are. But she told on herself about the BBL. And at least she was honest. She said, and most guys will go after the BBL. Yeah, for lustful reasons, but not to marry you. And that boy Will, he broke it down. I watched some of his stuff on the algorithm. That boy Will had a lot of videos that I sent to the other platform. Was what shouts out to the boys out there. But he sounds just like the Prophet, aka he knows I'm talking about DJ Kuda at this point. That's his nickname. I always call him that. And he used the word Sirski. He's a Capricorn. He said he's a Capricorn. He told on himself on one of his clips. And he's try to do the player shit and try to use Kevin Samuels. I said, this dude, here we go again. I know he listened to Kuda and them. He stole some of his little talking points, but we ain't gonna get into that. But trying to be like the Prophet. I said, what the hell is going on here? But that goes to show you, we see people like this all the time. Yeah, when she had that BBL, man, like when she told on herself, what hurt her, she had the height of during the pandemic and after. And I saw her little YouTube page. I said, girl, you should stay off of X. You're gonna get all types of trolls because they're thirsty. And she don't realize if you're doing OF or OnlyFans, stay off that platform because they're gonna harass you. They're not gonna treat you as a normal woman or so-called the upstanding modern. To me, it's no such thing as modern women. There is such thing as modern females. They said they're born. Yeah, they're modern, but you can't call them women. You gotta call them females. They act like little girls and dogs, and I ain't gonna say the cuss word. Everybody's like, man, they be barking and shit. But that's what they are to me. But you gotta understand that's the culture we in, because a lot of people don't understand that when you see this individual I'm talking about, I ain't gonna post a picture up here. I don't know if I got it. I don't know if I want to put her on here and put her on blast. I better not do it. I better not do it. Y'all can go find it for you. So you know what I'm talking about. She said, who could think they clap louder? She's on YouTube. She's got an Instagram and X. And yes, she got OnlyFans, but she ain't hiding it. She ain't hiding the fact that she has a BBL. She's honest. Not everybody's going to tell you that. But she's recognizable. Oh, greetings. What's going on, Sun Kiss? Greetings. But she's not hiding the fact that she had it, and You know what her biggest mistake was when I was looking at her tweets when she was blocking certain dudes on X. I be on X a lot, and I study how females do, how they act, and how they interact with these dudes from these spaces from 2.0 and all this other stuff. I can tell it's spilled over on other platforms. See, BGS and them guys and O'Shea and them losers, a lot of their content gets leaked over to places like what you call Twitter, known as X, and Instagram, is because they're monitoring. There's a lot of double agents watch all platforms. They know Elon knows who's over there, and people in TikTok. Even TikTok's having problems. The reason the Chinese people will not sell TikTok to. Yeah, they do. They do. You're absolutely right. They've been doing that for years, man. They've been doing that before the pandemic and after. And it all goes back to Tumblr. That's a whole nother topic on there. I ain't gonna get into that. That Tumblr thing with the P file shit, they was anti BBW. It was a civil war between that and those groups. And Apple saw it and they had to cut it loose and pull the plug. That's what really happened. They ain't gonna tell you the whole truth. Apple knew exactly what was going on. They knew Tumblr was like a safe haven, better than Instagram, like Chris Sanders said. He's a video gamer and stuff like that. A lot of people don't want to believe that, but it's true. H3 H3, something like that, confirmed it and all that. But a lot of people don't know Tumblr was like one of those places. Yeah, Tumblr was before there was Telegram, Tumblr was standard. They have the same thing. The difference was they have the same problem. Both of them have the same problem. Anything with a T, they're always gonna have the problem with that particular group. That's why I don't care for them. Or the same sexuals that I talk about. I can't stand them. They're the reason why the stuff is divided. And there's a lot of division amongst them. So it's over. Like the adult stuff, entertainment, what you see on there is it's actually finito at this point. You gonna have to go to places like Telegram and other ones like I'm just gonna say it like there's a place called Me. They leak a lot of shit with the pink car. Yeah. I used to love Tumblr, but I cut that shit off at 2018. I'll never forget in December. I was mad when they was trying to get rid of the adult content. Now you balance it out with the news like I do. I looked at certain news articles, certain news stations that post their Tumblr stuff. Tumblr was dope way back in the day. I had that shit since probably 2012 when I started a Twitter account. I knew Twitter was popular in the early years. I decided to get it because I had an Android phone at the time. I had a Samsung Galaxy 3, the Galaxy 3 Android. That was my very first Android phone. Now I had other phones that were like a sidekick, kind of like a Metro PCS, and I typed that way. And then I had flip phones, you name it. I had a Nokia, you name it. I had a track phone. See, I didn't have a proper cell phone company. It was random companies. It was Singular. They became AT&T. I had Metro PCS. Now T-Mobile owns a branch of them, owns that piece. And I didn't care for Metro PCS since then. I had that in Atlanta when I was dating somebody, my ex, years ago. And then I started getting into the Android phone. That was like years later in 2012. And then I had that for some years. Then I started upgrading to the HTC M8, the HTC XM8. It's the gold one. I still got it. It's on the respirator right now on the charge. It barely has power and juice now. A lot of files, a lot of viruses on that, but that's a whole nother story. Then I had the HTC 10, their latest. It's popular, still good. I like it, but it probably don't work now because I got a lot of stuff on there. And then I have the LG 3 Stylus Plus, the LG 3, the Stylo Plus 3. I mean, excuse me, the LG Stylo Plus 3. That was a good one. And then I got their latest model, the old one, the Stylo Plus 6. And the reason being, um, it's just pretty good, you know. That's a 30-minute rambunctious stuff, but but that just goes to show you that you see it a lot. But But I'm just looking at it right now. But everybody's got a broadcast podcast room. I don't know what is it about these people with all this stuff. And see, podcasting is huge on the internet, and that pandemic exposed a lot. I'm just looking at it for right now. I got the noise and all that stuff. But it goes to show you, like, I look at this stuff from small analytics and stuff like that. Yeah, Galaxy everything. Yeah, I had that. But then when I look at the stuff like where I was getting platforms like Twitter at the time, and before they called it X, before Elon bought it, man, it was something else. But Tumblr was the standard. Let's get back on Tumblr. Tumblr was everything in the very beginning. Oh, you had everything. Yeah, you had the adult stuff, you had the nude stuff, all that stuff, right? Pictures, right? And a few videos there and there. But what hurt Tumblr in 2018? The CP stuff is what destroyed Tumblr. A lot of people try to say it didn't. Yes, it did. It was a combination of that. Apple didn't like it. Apple was getting embarrassed. Let me tell you about something about Apple. Apple's got a lot of dirty stuff on data. A lot of people say you can't hack into Apple. That's cap. East Indian hackers always hack into Apple. Be careful if you have Apple. And I'll tell you a secret. Apple is not bad. They always had good cell phones years ago. When Steve Jobs was alive, Apple was the shit. I'm not gonna lie. It was the shit. Nowadays, a lot of people say they're the shit. No, they're not. The only reason they're the shit, I'm gonna tell you a secret. The only reason they're the shit, y'all take good pictures, y'all have the music, y'all have the damn, y'all have that little the stuff with the music and all that stuff. That's it. But outside of that, nobody uses Apple for anything else. Like, I'll give you an example. Apple is only good for entertainment. If you are a musician or any form of entertainer, use Apple. It don't make you smart with the technology. I'm just gonna tell you, be real. You want to be smart with technology and learn different computers, you got to get an Android. If you're in business, if you're a financial person, most people use Androids, flip phones, and Blackberries. The best Android phone company, me personally, is Motorola. The one thing I like about Motorola, they restrict you for shit, but one thing I like about it, they clean your data off. I got the Moto G now. Was it? I don't say it like this. The Moto G, I got the Moto G Stylus 5G. They try to copy the LG Stylus Plus 6. That's the latest the one. That's my old device that I use for screenshots and all that. That's the one you be seeing me outside on the vlogcast or vlog streaming. I use that old my old phone, but as my device, I use that for content. Now my phone, I just use it as a phone for other stuff and texting and all that. I don't really rarely talk on the phone. I don't care for that, or FaceTime. I don't do that. Now I have Google Duo. It's kind of like FaceTime. Now FaceTime is a new thing for these failed amateur stars that did adult stuff and then escort and all that. That's a whole nother story on that. That's why I don't care for FaceTime. Charging people on Twitter. That's it's OnlyFans is dead. FaceTime is in, and TikTok still. And FaceTime is not good. Now, if you have Apple FaceTime, actually FaceTime is owned by Apple anyway. So anything Apple, you gotta be careful. They got all your data and all that stuff. I wouldn't trust a company like that. If something happened to you, your shit's gonna get leaked to the internet. That's forever. It's a lot of dirty stuff. I heard stories when people go in their phones and they get their phone locked. Woo! A lot of mess. I know Android's bad, but nah, Apple's worse. Because them Indian hackers find a whole lot of shit on people. I'm telling you, they know, and they in your businesses and stuff like that. These Indians that go to school and all that, they be hacking in people's stuff. That's why I don't trust Apple, because Apple is so easy to manipulate. They know how to take it apart. I've seen videos, people know how. There's a guy named, what's his name, Rex Grossman broke it down. He has Apple, and he said everybody just want an Apple if they go to New York, whatever. Well, actually, New York is the Empire State. It's an empire. So they knew New York people carry Apple phones. They're easy to get robbed. They're easy to get tampered with. And you got to be careful. Apple is, they say they're the most secure. They say that, but that's not usually true. Neither smartphone is nearly secure. They try to say Android's not secure. Actually, Android can be secure. You just got to have the body fingerprint, all that. You got to know the code. You don't give nobody the code. And that's another way that I say Android's better for a lot of reasons. If you want the best quality, get a Motorola. The second best quality Android, you got to get a Samsung. Samsung's good for pictures if you're doing photography, if you're doing news, and if you're doing how should I say it, interviews. You could podcast any technology. I don't care if it's Apple or Android. You can use both. But I'm saying if you want quality, if you want it in politics, science, and all that research, use an Android. That's what I use. That's better. Android's good for certain things. Now, if you use Google Photos and all that, that's what they're made for. Collections, piece. If you're in the family and Facebook, Google's your friend on that. I hate saying a term, their friend. Of course, not really your friend. Yeah, they still date too, but not as much as TikTok and Apple, because you already know they're rival competitors. They all do the same thing, but TikTok's the worst. That's why I don't have it. I don't trust it because you don't know what is on there. A lot of nasty stuff. See, the internet's like a library. Just because you delete it, it's not fully deleted. Somebody's got it somewhere. That's why you got to be careful. If you're on Telegram and you don't have one, you're done. People gonna talk bad about you. That's how people troll you too. Be careful out there, man. It's not like what it was when I was coming up, when the internet was minute from '03, when I started as a 15 years old and on up in my 20s. It's not like what it was from 2003 to 2011. That's how minute the internet was. But 2012 changed the game when they had those smartphones. It was over. You couldn't hide no more. Everybody's on camera now. Now, the body cam footage with the police, they got you now. So it's like everybody can't do nothing. It's like I said about earlier in the stream, everybody's stuck inside, not doing it. Yeah, they outside of this nice weather right now. We chilling. I went outside a couple of hours ago. It's nice, beautiful outside. But everybody's stuck inside because there ain't that much to do around the United States. But people just still travel around the world. It's crazy to me. But that goes to show you, it's nothing wrong with traveling. I'm just saying people don't do the social stuff. That pandemic destroyed everybody. They got exposed. Everybody's by themselves and civil warring online, offline. It kind of died. Even when it came back, when we start moving around and travel around the world, now everybody's not with each other no more. They're like separate. I see certain events, they be on the corner somewhere. I'm like, what the hell? You ain't dancing with the woman in the crowd? I was like, man, they hate themselves. It's like, whoa. It done went bad. And that boy Will broke, his channel. I don't mess with his channel like that. I just follow him from a distance. And he's right. It's gotten bad. Yeah, dating's bad all over. It's not just the woman's side of her dating and the male side. Both genders have problem with dating, no matter what generation. Because a lot of people have priorities. They want more money so they can do it. Dating's not bad. Depends on who you choose. If you choose wrong, you choose these 304s, these harlots out here. You know damn well they're gonna do some damn damage. Even dudes act like harlots sometimes. They're not the biggest, but they contribute. But in reality, we perpetuate that. Now the dudes that are dudes out here, they perpetuate that. Now I'm a man. I understand that you love entertainment. You ignore that. If you're a righteous man at that, you stay away from negative stuff. But a lot of people just get caught up on the wrong things and they expect you to reciprocate or be reciprocal to each other. But a lot of times, like I said, sex is down. Technically, sex is not down. It's what type of person you have sex with. The problem with these platforms when they talk about sexual relationships and stuff like that, they just need to be quiet, man. Like that's not everybody's business to know online, especially on these panels. That's why I be careful on panels, be careful on platforms talk about it. That's not content. Everybody done talked about that 12 years ago. Most of these dudes are lame. Most of these people lame and they ain't shit. When you meet them in person, you already know, not just in person, but in life, you already know they ain't shit. I'm not an asshole. I'm a decent person. I know how to communicate. I'm not a big people person, but I pick and choose who I talk to. But outside of that, I just keep it in respectful and then just keep it moving. I'm not trying to meet up with everybody on here. I'm not doing it. I'm just here for a little good time, but not a long time. But if I ever meet the person, that's cool. But I'm not gonna go crazy on somebody. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for that. It's enough world to damage. It's a lot of weirdos out here acting crazy. The weather's nice. Everybody's driving fast. So you better not have a wreck. And they act crazy. It's gonna be really nice tomorrow because after that small rain we had a little drizzle of rain and it wasn't bad. It was just a little light thunderstorm and it went away. And then it got sunny yesterday. It was like a little wet, but today it's kind of dry. But that's what May feels like. May in the spring is getting warmer. It's gonna get warm early through. Spring is weird. You have to understand, spring is cold in the beginning, but it gets warmer around May down here in Georgia. Now in Tennessee, that's a whole nother story because I'm originally from there. And it gets like that. It's year round. But that's the South for you. But everywhere else is probably different, probably warmer and whatever. Now I'm on it. So about relationship content that I say is trash. You see it on TikTok. People complain about it. I watched River Jordan, aka River TV. She has some good perspectives, but her problem is she got that KS syndrome in her. She needs to get away from that. Let's go on, Degenerate Salute. And that's the problem. And she talked about a lot of these so-called OF models. They're not models, they're amateurs, they're bums. You ask me. Most of them are bums. And they do not make that type of money. If they make $3,000, they're bums to me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you make $3,000 in this day and time, you better make way more than that. At least 75, or everybody's trying to say, well, you gotta have 100,000 to date me. Like that goes for both genders. They sound retarded. No, you need way more than that. See, this country, I try to tell y'all, it's utilitarian for a reason. They want you to make $1 million, at least about 5 million. 5 million is not bad if you know how to manage it right. You want to make more millions? Anything past 15 million, anything above 15 million, you're doing something. 16 to, I will say, about to 100 billion. I'll give you an example. If you make it 16 million, most people are not going to make $1 billion. They'll probably make $1 million if they work hard on their dreams and stuff. A lot of people ain't going to make $1 million. That's slightly true, and that's false. No, if you have multiple incomes, you can make at least $1 million. If you want to live in this country, you got to make $1 million. You got to make more money than ever. If you're dealing with technology, I'm talking about futuristic technology in the future. If this country's still around, that's what they're pushing. And yes, they're gonna push the utilitarian theory to ruin it, and everybody gets super entitled. What you gonna have? A bunch of rich C words acting crazy, rhymes with hunts. You know what I mean? But and they act stupid and narcissistic all the time, because a lot of narcissists goes both genders anyway. The ones that are they utilitarian people, they don't like people. And I study why utilitarian concepts exist, because just like the philosophy said, the greatest happiness of the greatest numbers. See, they talk about numbers and their theories, the happiness. The guy that founded America, along with not Andrew Jackson, but Ben Franklin and all them other guys, the so-called founding fathers, they had one that was a utilitarian. His name is John Stuart Mill. They got it from him, and they birthed the modern day liberalism, which is utilitarianism theory. That's all it is. It's a man-made concept. But that doctrine goes way back. If you study Greek, it's called Epicureanism. Epicurus people, Epicurus, the guy, right? He fought against nihilistic people, aka what they would call Stoics back then. Stoics were nihilistic people. Epicureanism or Epicurus people were what? Utilitarians. They were liberal. They leaned towards the right. They didn't give a damn about the hard, extreme left, stoic, left side, left people, far left people. Because most far left people are nihilists. They should be, or lean towards the middle. But anything past the middle, you're conservative, you're liberal, and you lean towards authoritarianism. That's y'all staying. Because the reason liberals and conservatives are the same to me, because I figured out years ago, I always thought they were different, but they were not. They actually the same. They preach right shit. Most people don't like neither one of them. If you want to go to conservative countries, I recommend going to Switzerland. I never been, but Switzerland is direct democracy. I've seen some research, and people told me they've been there, and they said, they said, sir, it's like a actual, Maru. People dictate, right? That's true. With no Masonic oversight. Some have it in like Sweden and North, like Finland. Those are conservative countries. The Western Europe is not conservative. They're ass backward liberals that preach utilitarianism. America preaches utilitarianism. Don't even realize it. Their whole system is utilitarian. It's not communism. It will never be a communist country or a far left country. United States and the rest of the Americas of countries border them, like Canada, Mexico, they all practice Utilitarianism in a certain degree. There's different levels of it, and they ruin everything. That's why people don't fuck with these countries. That's why they suck. That's why people go overseas to Africa, try to dictate people, and Asia and all that. Those conservative democracy countries. America's not a democracy; it's a republic. Most republic are utilitarians on the down low. They hate people in general so they can control you. They already said the N word loudly. I don't trust a man talk loud. I'm not the loudest talker either. You know, I can talk loud and get my voice just content sense, but outside, I don't talk that loud. I'm very quiet, a little stoic, straightforward, get to the point, decent conversation. We talk loud. That's exciting. We're happy about the conversation. But when it comes to actually teaching it, I don't have to get loud. I have a certain tone, how I move, and that's it. It is what it is. There's no difference. There's no difference. There's no difference. They're actually the same because Stoicism, if you're serious, most nihilistic people are Stoics on the down low. They've always been. Stoicism and Epicureanism, I talked about this before 3 years ago. It's basically when you have Epicureanism, they're usually birth utilitarians. I talked about this on for the philosophy thing that I did 3 years ago. I talked about this 3 years ago, and I was pushing it so hard. That's what it was. Thanks to Cerulean brushed off my philosophy research, and that's what it was. If you study Epicureanism, Stoicism is it's more like nihilistic thought. It's cynicism, it's all that. Then you talk about asceticism, how they doctrine, it's different levels of it. But Stoics are very serious. They're passionate about, freedom and all that. Anything that deals with freedom and far left stuff, Plato and all that, egalitarian shit, that is basically nihilistic thought. Nihilism has different branches of um, ideologies, should we say? Because nihilism is straightforward, but nihilism ain't bad. You got happy now. You got different levels of it. Utilitarians got a handful, but the biggest one is total. But the reason why we don't have total utilitarianism is because people deal with secret and narcissistic ways, and they have a Masonic group behind them. So I'm not gonna get into the Masonic groups, but I'm just saying that's the stuff that they have. And that's what's wrong with society today. Political philosophies exist. That's why Stoicism and nihilism to me are the same. I don't see no difference. The only difference is how they're practiced, but they both have the same thought. Now, BGS will try to say, "Oh, they're totally different." No, they're not. They're the same. I don't see no difference. The only difference is how it's presented. Now, if you're pragmatic, can you be nihilistic? A little bit. Pragmatic means you be pragmatic right or left. It don't really matter, but it's your thought. What's your ideology? You can be pragmatic as an authoritarian. You can be pragmatic as a revolutionary far leftist. You know what I'm saying? How that goes? Yeah. I talked about this 3 years ago. Most of the stuff is very accurate. What I'm saying, you can do this basic research. You don't need no fancy way to research. These dudes be capping. They don't read correctly. But shouts out to Saru breaking that down. Great breaking that down. To me to understand that for 3 years, I give him credit. We talked about this off air, online, and you name it. There's streams about it. You can go see on different streams I did on the Thursday Thrills. We talked about it. We probably talked about it on Sunday Madness. We talked about it on the Independent Thinking series. We talked about every series I done. I pushed that shit. But utilitarianism is very the reason I'm talking about it, because I've seen old videos that talk about on YouTube, but they don't get no credit. I tell you what is going on in these spaces. That's what they're pushing. These niggas is pushing it. Sound like it's good, but it's actually bad. Blue pill culture is utilitarian. If you think about it, there's no such thing as black pill utilitarian. Now, B just want to push that so hard 3 years ago. I was trolling him for that while I was doing, but I was actually telling you the truth. Yes, it is very blue pill. The more you study about utilitarianism, you study why does it have narcissistic thought. Think about it. Narcissism, they have inflated egos, right? That goes for both genders. I'm not just blaming one gender. I'm not like you slow, retarded retards on YouTube on here. No, females and males have these problems. The reason why you got narcissistic people in the world is because you got a lot of sociopaths around the planet, allow them to be dumb. See, in the hood, let me tell you something about narcissists. They don't live long. They always get murdered by the predatory sociopaths. And if they get tired of them, they gone. They send a psychopath on them or one of them, and in a stealth culture, you're out of there. It's in every culture around the world. That applies to the planet that we live on, different cultures, and you see it in the islands and here. A narcissist that talk the loudest, have an inflated ego, don't live long. And Trump is one of them, and he's a community one. And then your Kevin Samuels, you see he has a poor diet. He don't live long. He's an idiot. He has some good points, but he was an idiot. He was worse. And that's why these dudes that follow him and the females that really followed Kevin, they were narcs. They were not regular so-called women. They were narcissistic women and they act like girls. They were really females, narcissistic females, aka what you call so-called women. And they don't like each other. They hate each other, just like you see it on X. Why they beef with each other? They have these big communities and BBW communities. If you study it, they don't even like each other. I don't care if it's big or small. They don't like each other. It's competition. If they look pretty or look decent, they're going to fight each other. This is like the dudes. The dudes taught them how to fight each other. See, the dudes should not worry about aesthetics. Now, on a female, yes, or a woman, yeah, you care. That's what we care about. But on the opposite side of it, the female should not look at a male aesthetic. She should look at his body, what his body is worth, and all that stuff. But 95% of the time, they don't really care. It's what can you do for them for leadership roles. Now, a male side, traditionally, if he's a righteous man, he's supposed to do that anyway. All the true man has to serve the Most High Yah, the living power. That's how you live righteously. If you want to talk about that sense. Now, most men don't believe. That's fine. You're atheist. You're an idolatrist. You believe in utilitarian concepts. You believe what the rest of the world think. But traditionally, let's put our differences aside for a moment. You do know you fear something higher than you. Most people don't believe that. That's fine. I ain't talking to you. You're on the other side if you're not with it. I'm not trying to put this in the stream, but I'm just saying from that sense, you're not going to make it on that side. Now, if you say he don't exist, yeah, we all agree it's a different levels, but I ain't going to agree with that. No, because we know the Most High exists and he always exists. You got to pick a side. You got to pick a righteous side of that. See, if you want to talk bad about females, be righteous first. That's the key. And I'm saying living by it. It's not easy. It's a process. We have our own sins. We know how to fight it and whatever, but we got to understand these females exist for a reason. They are a reflection. Now, some of them want to be proper women. That's good. If they get reformed as women, that's cool. I accept that over here. I just don't want to talk about them 95% of the time. That's not content. Because, see, if you study utilitarianism, that's what they want you to do. See, a narcissist wants you to talk about them. They need attention. That's why utilitarians are narcissists. If you pay attention how they think and how they say the dumbest shit, like you see with BGS and all them, it's dumb. I watched their platforms years and years, like not years, but it was about 4 years ago. Watched this shit for like months, and then till next year. I was trolling them niggas in 2021. You can see my platform where I was doing then over there. It just they say the outrageous shit, and they got exposed on TikTok when they try to go over there, and that backfired. And then Tasha K said something right about Andrew Tate and those people. They ruined TikTok. Yes, they did. They try to make TikTok more like Musk and them and Rumble. Well, TikTok's far from that. TikTok kick anybody to say the right stuff. That's ass backwards. To me, that's why TikTok is a joke. The people that's going to own TikTok, it ain't going to be no Zuckerman or all that. No, it's going to be somebody different. I wouldn't use the platform then because it's anti-us anyway. The ones that live in the truth. Yeah. Yeah, that's all the time. The rats, the people you telling they don't live long, they were narcs. They were suckers. They don't mean they're the toughest people that run the planet. A lot of people say they run the planet. No, they don't. Look at Brian Nichols. They said he was a narcissist. And the sexual assault thing, the judge is trying to get him off, but he murdered somebody. He murdered the judge. He murdered everybody. But Brian Nichols is in prison right now and somewhere in Georgia. I forget what part of Georgia, but it's a state federal prison. He's in lockdown to the max or whatever. He was dirty. There's a documentary about him right now. You can find about Brian Nichols. And a lot of people try to say, Brian ain't no narcissist. Well, he had inflated ego. Some criminals are. Do they live long? No, they do not live long. They do get executed eventually. They may not live to be 80, 100 years old because you don't see them. They live to be to the magical number, sometimes not. Sometimes they be ratting and telling on people, which you shouldn't trust law enforcement at all. Only time you trust law enforcement if you're in danger and you ain't did nothing wrong, you live like a civilian, you supposed to. If you live the street lifestyle, you ain't supposed to. No, you handle your own problems. They treat you like a terrorist or whatever. But narcissism is not good on neither gender. That's why I'm not one dimensional like you niggas trying to say, oh, it's one gender, and then they say one gender. No, it's both genders have it. And you know what a narc is? This society supports it. Like I said, with narcissism, to me, what theory they practice? Utilitarianism. They always want happiness and words of admiration. That's what it's about. That's why I'm not a fan of it. That's why they don't live long. It's two types really that exist. Really, it's the textbook narcissist. You already know. That's most people that think like sheep. That's what sheeps are. They have an arrogant attitude and they're narcs. But you do have the community ones, like the Kevin Samuels in the world, the Donald Trumps that's polarizing. They can say they can take over the world. They can't. They can take over small people that's dumb. Even the pastors that are idolaters are narcissists, like a Derek Jackson. I can go on and on. You see it in these 2 point so-called manosphere spaces, the clowns that they are. They represent narcissism. That's why Kevin was the best. You know why he was the best and why he was the best out of what he did, despite he was a community narcissist? He had a following. The fool that loves Kevin the most, they love narcissism. I'm sorry. If y'all love Kevin Samuels, y'all love the narcissism, aka utilitarian system behavior. Kevin was pushing utilitarian concepts. He ain't black pill, he's blue pill. If he was black pill, he would have been a nihilist. He would have went extreme like me, not saying nothing about the females and say coded words, what's wrong with societies, and get them together and unify, have a revolutionary movement. But he didn't want that. He was a tap dancer, bro. He didn't care. He didn't care about his own health. He didn't have the knowledge of stay away from stuff. He didn't practice what he preached. He didn't practice what he teach either. So what made him a narc is easy. They got the signs. You can't go around on platforms and shitting on people. Not the ones that got you there. But you know why women were following? They were narcs. They knew him. They know his type. Spiritual whistleblower wasn't lying about that. The only thing she went on, she should never fought with him. She should have just let him be. If she's part of NPD, I don't get into that, but it goes for both genders. I don't say it all the time, but I use utilitarianism because that's the only philosophy that has that mindset. You gotta be a blatant narcissist to believe in utilitarian cultures in America. It's designed that way. That's why America is so fucked up, because they love that ideology. If you notice, why is everything got to be utilitarian? Why is everything got to be narcissism? Why everything got to be those two ideologies? And I'll tell you why. Because it's programmed in your head. And I ain't one of them. I'm glad I'm not a narcissist. Now, I can understand the sociopathy and the psychopathy. Psychopathy can have a little narcissism. You have some on the sociopath, but it's kind of rare. It's like I'll say 5 to 10%. Not everybody. A true sociopath cannot be a narcissist. You know what a sociopath can be? A stealth person. If you look at people in the military that's quiet, assassins and shit like that, mercenaries and all that, they're usually sociopaths and they control it with an iron fist. You see it in several countries in the continent of what they call Africa and a lot of these nations. There's a lot of sociopaths running around. They do what the hell they want. They got control, pull, whatever, mystique, you name it. Psychopaths live longer than narcissists because they have their own minds. And a lot of psychopaths don't have emotions. Yes, they do. They cry and care about a handful of people. I give you an example on the video game. What's that guy's name? And he's a pansexual and everything. His name was Stephen R. played him very well. His name was Trevor Phillips as the character in GTA 5. He's a good example of a video game character. And then you see it in other movies. Psychopaths have feelings. They go on the rampage first, and then they have feelings and something bothering them, their childhood. And a lot of people said those are not born psychopaths. No, they're born psychopaths like that. That's his nature. But they do hate narcissism. Some of them do. And the one, like Brad, they said he was a narc, but he was a psychopath. He was both, but he didn't care about people, because you got some psychopaths don't care. He has a little narcissism. But it's a society that will benefit him. It has to be utilitarian. Look at America. That's what they preach. That's why people don't like me using the word utilitarian, but it is. That's a narcissistic ideology. If you pay attention with utilitarian and that, it goes together. They focus on one emotion. That's why I call them one emotional motherfuckers. I can't stand them because they don't live long. They're one of the worst people on these platforms, like you got on X, you name it, YouTube. All these platforms are like. That's why you stay away from panels because there's a lot of them. That's why Kevin ruined these spaces. That's why I'm not a fan of utilitarianism like that. Now I understand because at the time when I was talking about 3 years ago, I thought they were separate, but it's damn near to me, it's the same. If you really study the history of the two, you'd be like, well, damn, you got to go by their personality. Every personality can't be utilitarian. It only has to be one. And I found it. And it makes sense why they preach happiness this, happiness that. You got a different one that has happiness called eudaimonism. It's a little different ideology. But when you study utilitarianism, that's a commonly practiced theory, not just in England, but in America too, in the Northeast, and you name it. Don't get me started. It's a lot in the down south area too. You just don't see it. That's why the South ain't what it is no more. South try to be democratic in the blue, but in reality, yeah, Democrats are conservative. A lot of people try to say they liberal. 95% of Democrats are conservative. Well, the ones I met in the workplace I used to work, and they told me on the low, you don't see a lot of liberals thrive in the Democratic Party. You know why? Because the blue side of the bell arm of the group that runs the planet, they know Democrats are conservative deep down, and they don't care about spending money. Like I said, they do. They really don't. Obama will spend billions of dollars. Him and Biden, they don't really care. That's their thing. But a liberal cares about his money. Like I said, liberals don't care about the money. Yes, they do. They're richer. You can't call them. There's no such thing as a liberal left. To me, liberals always lean towards the right. And they're Republicans. A true liberal is a utilitarian. They're narcissists. They don't care about people. And to me, they shouldn't. That's just who they are. And they act like little psychopaths sometimes. Do they run the planet? No. They perpetuate running the planet, but they have a sociopath that doesn't care at all. He's got agendas. Those are dangerous. You got two types. One could be on the narc side, and the other may not be. So it's like it's crazy how I look at it, and I'm like, damn. And then that's why I don't trip off it so much because on these platforms, people don't give a damn. You know what I mean? That's why I don't listen to BGS and them. They clowns. Yeah, that's the topic today. Daily Hump Dump, the third edition, man. It's goes to show you what I'm saying is in so many words. When I talk about the finesse era, they're pushing the same thing. They just a lot of these dudes, yeah, they trolling the females. That's cool and all, but I know what y'all mess is really about. It ain't got nothing to do with the passport. You know what's the losers over there, the lost bros, I call them, and the rest of them. But they always push this narrative. I want happiness in my life. What does that tell you? It's crazy, ain't it? Yeah, the shouts out to people that came through. Shouts out to Degenerate, Miss Queen Sunkiss, salute to you. Who else came in here? Chaos, of course. Shouts out to you, Tampa. Yeah, that shouts out to everybody that coming through here, man. This is a different stream. We'll do a part 4 every other Wednesday. You'll check me out, but I always do the historical stuff so I can throw stuff out there about the Etruscans. I'm gonna go in depth on it. Probably drop it real soon or later, but I'll see how I feel. I might not drop it today. I'll drop it next week for next Wednesday, and then sum up what I'm talking about and things like that. So just be mindful what I said earlier in this stream, or midway later in the stream. I was talking about utilitarian concepts. It's just you see it all the time. Yes, you got a lot of narcissistic people act like sheep, and most sheep have a character on them. They think they know everything. They say, man, man, and then they get to the slaughterhouse by a sociopath. Ain't that grand? You know what I mean? Peace. I mean, not peace. Yeah, peace to people. But I say shalom means peace, of course. Shalom to the Gentiles and our people, Israel, or Zion, of course, the chosen, wherever, and everybody else that support this stream, whatever. You can share it and do what you want with it. But this is the Daily Hump Dump, the third edition. The fourth edition, you will see. We'll talk about little things like this. Yeah, the finesse era is for real, aka what they call soft guy era or the soft male era, because a lot of them are crazy out here. And they say outrageous stuff on TikTok. So with that, until next time, and I'll see y'all next week on the upload of review 2. And yeah, that's what you're gonna see. But then the next Wednesday after, you will see the daily hump dump for the 4th. We dumping rounds over here. So with that, until next time, I'm signing off.